A very big hi to all my viewers. This is your Julie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is again a very informative video and I dedicate this video to all the pregnant ladies out there. So today I will discuss about what are the vaccines to be taken during pregnancy. Now, the pregnancy is a period when most of the mothers don't take any medicines. Even though we are very much sick, we avoid medicines because we know we are not alone during this period. We are also carrying a life with us. So that's why we are always double minded before we take some medicines or we take some vaccines. But let me tell you guys that as per the WHO, there are some mandatory vaccines to be administered during the pregnancy period. And during your first visit itself, your gynecologist will tell you what are the pregnancy medicines, pregnancy vaccinations to be taken. Now, in this video, I will tell you what are the vaccines to be administered during the pregnancy and why is it important. The most importantly, we administer 3 vaccines to the pregnant ladies. What are those vaccines? The first vaccine is tetanus toxoid vaccine. The second vaccine is a combination vaccine. It is called as DPT vaccine, also be called as Tdap vac. And third vaccine is a flu vaccine. In this, the flu vaccine is not mandatory, but the other 2 vaccines are mandatory vaccines. Now, why we are administering the tetanus vaccine? Tetanus vaccine is administered to the mothers during their pregnancy period to protect their newborn child from a disease called as tetanus. Now, this tetanus can be very fatal to your newborn if he or she gets it. So, our aim is to prevent the neonatal tetanus, and that's why we are administering the tetanus toxoid during pregnancy. Now, what is the duration to take the tetanus vaccine? Tetanus vaccine is given in 2 shots. The first shot is directly the tetanus vaccine itself, and the second vaccine is as a combination. Now, the first vaccine is given during the early 6 months, that is within the period of within 24 weeks. Now, the maternal immunity is very important and the antibodies are carried from the mother to the child via the placenta. So, whatever the nutrition the mother receives is already transferred to the baby. The same with the immunoglobulins as well as the antibodies. The maternal antibodies are transferred to the baby and the baby is the one receiving the protection. So in this case, when we are administering a vaccine, this vaccine is not a live vaccine, so you need not need to worry regarding the ill effects. There is no ill effects as per mentioned by the WHO. Now, this vaccine is a protection vaccine and it will protect your child against the deadly neonatal tetanus. Neonatal tetanus can be very fatal and it can even lead to the death of the baby. So, in order to avoid this, since 2014, it's become very mandatory that all the mothers has to take the tetanus vaccine as well as the DPT vaccine, which is a combination of diphtheria, pertussis as well as tetanus. Now, let's say what is the second important vaccine, that is the DPT vaccine. The DPT vaccine is a protection vaccine. It gives immunity to the mother and the newborn baby against 3 diseases, that is diphtheria, pertussis as well as tetanus. Now, if it is in an older child or in an adolescent, whooping cough can be treated and it doesn't become that much fatal. But when it comes to neonatal, the neonatal whooping cough or neonatal diphtheria can be life threatening. It's a respiratory disease and it can cause apnea to the baby as well as shortness of breath. And you know, the baby already has an increased respiratory rate, so the grunts will be increased in the neonatal case. So, administering of this vaccine will protect the baby from all these 3 diseases, that is diphtheria, pertussis as well as tetanus. So administration of this vaccines are very important during the pregnancy period to protect the mother as well as the baby. Now, when is this DPT vaccine administered? The DPT vaccine is administered during the 27 to 36 weeks of pregnancy. So that's the time your gynecologist will recommend you to take a shot of DPT vaccine. Now, these vaccines are all inactive vaccine. They don't have the live viruses. That's why there is no harm for the mother as well as the child in taking these vaccinations. Now, this is about the recommended vaccines in pregnancy. What more? In pregnancy, there is also different other vaccines like anti-D vaccine, COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine is newly started because once after the COVID, that's according to the recommendation as per your gynecologist, what period you have to administer. This is all will be explained to you during your visits from your gynecologist. Now, there is also a vaccine called as anti-D vaccine. Now, anti-D vaccine is not administered to all the mothers. This is administered to mothers with RH incompatibility. Now, with regarding this RH incompatibility and anti-D vaccine, I will take a separate session. So, in this video, we are focusing on the main vaccines which are administered during pregnancy. Now, one more vaccine which is very important and it is FDA recommended, that is always these vaccines are administered in the international level. So this vaccine is a flu vaccine. Flu vaccine is recommended in the early 6 weeks of pregnancy. This will give a protection for the mother and the baby against influenza for the entire pregnancy period. So this is very important and it's recommended, but it's not mandatory. So it depends upon the mothers whether he or she will take it or not. But it's recommended that if you will take it, it's well and best, so that you are protecting your child as well as your baby against influenza virus. And flu vaccine is not only recommended for the mother and the child, but for the whole family members, because in order to prevent the contamination of the family members as well as the mother to the baby and vice versa. That's why this flu vaccine is administered. Now, there are some mothers who have a doubt that vaccination card, all these vaccines are mentioned, DPT vaccine, tetanus vaccine, everything for the baby. Then what is the need for the mother to take these vaccines? So friends, the vaccination which is received by the baby is after 1 or 2 months once he or she is born. So till that time the protection for the baby is received only through the maternal antibodies. So that's why we are vaccinating the mother, so that the antibodies are transferred to the baby and it's received in a maximum level to the baby, and the baby is protected from such fatal diseases, and we are decreasing the mortality incidences of the babies after the delivery. So this is the importance of vaccinations, and WHO has strictly recommended the vaccinations for all the pregnant ladies, and during your visits you should make sure that you take all your vaccines and always have a visit, because there are some mothers that they think that pregnancy is a 9 months period and it can just happen. No, it's not like that. During your each month there is some progression which happens in your baby, and everything will be well explained to you by your gynecologist, and that's why each visit is very important. Now, what more? Very important thing, that if you have not taken these vaccines, you can meet up your gynecologist at the soonest and take your vaccination shot. So prevention is better than cure, guys. So make sure you and your baby are safe and well vaccinated. So hope this video was very informative. If you like the channel, kindly like, share and subscribe, and do keep watching for my upcoming videos.